Hey, Turbs. You're in a good mood. I love that Labrador energy. He was out here just spinning, having the best day of his life this morning. You know, when you're a dog, every day's the best day of your life. That's why I love the dogs so much. Hey, what's up, garden friends? Jeff here. How's everybody? Hope you're doing well. I'm great. I am. Impromptu video. Wasn't planning on filming today. Was going to take a day off, but yesterday we had a tornado roll through. I've already done some of the cleanup. So here's the story. Here in St. Louis, Friday, which was the 16th, I was down in the city. It's where Bay lives. We were hanging out at their house, and some sirens went off, but it didn't look too bad outside. And then the sirens stopped going off, and I was like, okay, something just means there's a tornado in a neighboring county. Then all of a sudden I'm looking out the window and the trees are like at a 45-degree angle and there's so much dust and you can't even see what's out there. Not a dust storm, just everything was very dusty and it was a lot of wind. So I open up my KMOV Channel 4 News app and I'm streaming that to the TV, and Steve Templeton, our lovely weather guy's up there going, oh, looks like there might be a tornado over here. And look at the map, it's like, oh, that's just a couple miles away, not even a couple miles away from where we were. But no sirens. And then they were debating the thing where it's like radar indicated or on the ground, and it was pretty clearly on the ground at that point, heading just past the Forest Park and zoo area. Anyways, the tornado went through and was very destructive in the city. I think they're saying an F3, maybe 2 tornadoes. Numbers all over the place. People died. North St. Louis has the most damage, which is incredibly unfortunate because it's an area where people are well underserved. So I'm not gonna go through and be upset that some of my plants blew over, that I got some broken pottery. Everything's fine here. I was shocked to come home and see, I mean, there are a lot of trees down and things like that, but we're just barely west of where the tornadoes happen. So there's a lot of wind and apparently some monster-sized hail, but nowhere near the destruction out here. Though a lot of people still don't have power out here, which is surprising because, well, a lot of the lines are underground out here. It's neither here nor there. I need to do some cleanup, but I don't want this to be like, oh no, a tornado destroyed my garden. It didn't. We're good here. And the heck, look at all the junk it cleaned up out of the pine trees. That's good. Those are all things that would have created dust here in a couple of weeks. So yesterday, all that happened. Came back out here to my house. There were just pots all over the place. Things were tipped over. And since I had somebody with me, it seemed like, hey, let's go ahead and pick these up because it would be difficult to do that on my own. Lots of pine branches down. All kinds of limbs from the pines. Limb. There's a whole bunch over there too. I figure, hey, that's just good cleanup. Probably needed to be done. Potted things blew over. Nothing shocking about that. That's just everyday stuff out here. This guy was blown over. This monster. I don't think I've ever had these hydrangea planters blow over. When they were queen palms, meaning these planters had queen palms in them, they used to blow over all the time. That's why I stopped putting palm trees in them, because it was just too much of a sale. These pots are very, very, very large, and I actually have weights in the bottom, and broken bricks, all kinds of things help weigh them down even further. But this guy was over on its side. So that was surprising. Got that one set up. Looks like there's some other things that have blown over. I haven't really assessed that much because there was just so much going on yesterday. I'm like, I'm not bugged, but okay, there's some plants that have fallen over that I need to pick up and clean up. Oh well, that's nothing to cry about or get bent out of shape about, right? Oh, well that is a bummer. I really liked that pot. But it could mostly get glued back together, I think. Just hold on to all these little pieces and put that puzzle back together. Actually, I think my favorite Talavera pot, but again, it's just a pot. Still have the house, so yeah, it's fine. Can always glue it back together. Just keep those in there. Let's find a pot. Oh, here, we'll just use this. This is fine. That'll work. This guy. Oh, you're just gonna pop out of there, huh? Oh, you see? So this was going to be a thing anyways, because the top of that container is all, you know, dumb and not dumb. It's one of my favorite planters, but it was smaller than the outside. So it was going to be hard to get this thing unpotted out of here anyways. So the storm did us a favor. Can make it work. Just need some glue. I am so glad these didn't get busted because they did blow over. And I mean, that one has broken before and it was not easy getting it back together. And I can't replace them. They don't sell these anymore. I got these before a lot of costs skyrocketed. Well, everything has skyrocketed now, but before costs on pottery and plants had really just gone through the roof. The cost on these is like 3 times what it was when I got them. So if these break, that's it. Done with having plants around the pool. Just not worth the expense for, you know, some pots. Can't do it. Okay, all right. Hey, that's done. See how easy this is? Those winds. I don't think I've seen anything like that in the city before. We get the winds out here because we're just outside the city and stuff comes rolling in from the plains. Right where I live is where things start to get a little bit more hilly. You good? You gonna stand up? And sometimes things calm before they hit the city. Not always. That's not the first tornado to hit the city, but it's, I think, maybe the most destructive and damaging. Hey! Look at that. Dracaena's got an inflow on it. That's excellent. I'm so happy about that. When I repotted this last year, I was on the fence about doing it because, well, these are plants that sometimes don't like to have the roots messed with. Sometimes they just grow like a ponytail palm and they seem good, so you just leave them alone. But I just figured it's a fast grower. Fast growers usually going to benefit from a repot, and it has grown an awful lot. That's neat. I love seeing that. Let's get it nice and close. Get a better look at it. That's pretty. Very nice looking inflorescence on there. Now these guys, these are knocked over too. I mean, it's just tilted over in its container. Get that out of there. Looks like there's some, oh, lots of little leaves coming out of the oak tree. I know that was a branch in my hand. I was looking at the leaves in the grass when I was saying that. That's what I meant by lots of little leaves were blowing around. Okay. Yeah, so I will say this. I think a lot of the planting materials I was going to be using this year, they're maybe looking a little bit rough because, you know, tornado or whatever precedes a tornado, which is wind. I don't know how else you would describe that. But yeah, can't do anything about that. There's some damage on them, but that's the great thing about annuals. They will grow. They'll grow, they'll recover, they'll look fine in no time. Irony, I was gonna pot these up, get these containers all planted up Thursday, and it started to rain, so I said, okay, I'll just wait. The plants needed the rain. Some of the impatiens were kind of thirsty. Still are thirsty. I got her up the hose. Surprising how we had so much rain. Yeah, so didn't get to it. I wish I had. Maybe it's a good thing I didn't, because I have some other containers over here I'll show you in just a minute where I just gotten them planted up, and now they're on their sides and going to have to do it all over again. Again, not complaining, just bringing you all along for some of the cleanup. That's all. This is not bad. I've had much worse than this. It's mostly just stuff that's tipped over. That's not a big deal. Plants are okay and the house is okay. And we still have power, which is amazing because there are a lot of people who don't have power right now. Really fortunate there. Ooh, it's looking a little bit rough. Yeah, everything's looking a little bit rough. There we go. Yeah, he's fine. Banana trees can handle the wind. Sometimes I don't bother picking things up right away when we've been having storms just because I know they're just going to blow over. Again, dang, you guys are mad. What the heck are you all crinkled up for? Oh yeah, heliconias and me. I'm not doing anything different than what I've ever done, but we're not getting along all that. Oh, you know what? I think it's just the sun's really strong because the ginger's all wrapped up there too. See how the leaves are all bent up? That can just be a stress response. The soil's not too dry, but it is a little bit on the cooler side. We had some very nice warm weather yesterday. And I guess one nice thing about all this is that the storms, you know, it's part of a cold front that came in. So there's a lot of places that don't have power, but I guess the silver lining there is that it is relatively cool today. And I think, you know, there's going to be maybe a couple days that are going to be fairly warm over the next few days. I'm talking maybe low 80s. That could change by the time this video comes out. I don't know. But it's supposed to be cool. I think there was a night, it's going to be like 49 coming up in a couple days. So that's good. Never want it to be, you know, midsummer when we have these power outages, which does happen every year. Always have power outages in the summertime when it gets really hot. Right when everybody needs their thing. Like when I'm storing my phone case right now. Lost another pot. Don't really care. Wasn't all that attached to this one. It's one of those terracotta glazed ones from Lowe's, right? Pretty sure this is from Lowe's. Not gonna bother gluing this back together. I've had bad luck with these. Sometimes they break and they're just done. But there are fun things you can do with these. You can sand them down, smooth them out, and partially bury them in the ground. You make really good little toad houses, frog houses, places for the critters to go and hang out. See, it just broke some more, and I barely set any pressure on that when I put it down. Set any pressure on it when I put it down. Barely had any pressure on it when I sent it down. Adenity was blown over yesterday. Picked that up because, well, best to pick things up. And it was blocking the door. So sometimes with the storms, if I know or just think there's going to be more storms rolling through, I'll just leave the plants down. So it's worse for them to keep getting blown over and flipping back up and blow over. That can do a lot of damage. But this one was in front of the door, and the dog needed to be able to get out. And I didn't even realize that rose was all busted up over there. Had a palm tree hanging out above the pond. You're still seeing your fish though, right? How are your fish doing? Well, go see. How are your fish? Go see your friends. Yeah. Here you go. Labradors. Hard to be in a bad mood when you have a dog around, right? There we go. Did I fix it? No? Come on. Stay up. Just stay. Just stay. I don't feel like messing with that. And then this one right here. So this one just got potted up in the video that would have been out right before this one. The entire container was over. This is the only thing I walked in the backyard and I gasped when I saw this one in the Areca palm down on the ground because I can't replace these containers. They stopped making them. I haven't seen them anywhere in years. So I was very, very, very pleased to see that the containers, totally fine. This guy, gonna have to completely redo the planting, but that's okay. Worse things could happen, right? That's not a big deal. And, you know, everything's sitting right there. Oh, you got angry. This thing was just like in full bloom a few days ago, covered in flowers. Was it too much flowering? I think it may have had too much flowering. You bloomed yourself nearly to death. That can happen sometimes. You know, they put the hormones on these things and it can just do them in. I don't know, it was in a video. I think this had, we counted, it was like 12 or 13 flowers open at once, and it was just covered in flowers for about 4 days straight after that. Just non-stop. I'm not going to hit this with a fertilizer or anything like that just yet because, well, there are other things that need to be done. Oh, I did really like that pot. Looks like it's big breaks though. Like it's, there's a bunch of little pieces in there, but glue it back together. And then the Areca palm. I'm pretty sure the pot's okay. I left it down because I didn't know. I didn't know if there were going to be more storms. So I just said, no, let's just leave it. I don't want to risk it blowing over again. What really surprised me though is this pot was all the way over here. And now it's over here, which means this is the only direction it could get out, and then it rolled. There are a lot of plants underneath it. I had to sacrifice them. I was like, I care about this palm tree and this container more than the annuals that are underneath there. I didn't want to lift it up and risk it, have it blow back over again. So that was a choice I had to make yesterday. I mean, it was late in the evening, so it's been a while. I mean, you know, there's not much you can do with this kind of weight on top of those small plants. I was like, what's done is done, right? They're done for. They're squished. Not necessarily dead. I'm going to assess that once I get the pot picked up, but they're not going to be looking good. I think that much is clear, right? I'm not going to be too optimistic about these looking perfect when I pull this container up. I think what I need to do here is finish clearing out this area. I pulled, you know, some stuff out because I probably need to just gently roll this over this direction and then stand it back up that way. Getting it over this way is going to be difficult because there are, well, it looks like heliconias and some other things underneath it. I think it's just going to damage things more trying to roll it back over there. I'm going to try and stand it up here. Just clean a bunch of this stuff up. This U here needs to get planted up. I'm going to put this over here in the shade. That is a tomorrow kind of issue. I do not have time to mess with that today. Today was not meant to be an outside day. So just getting the stuff done that really has to get done. Some annuals knocked over here. Oh, you look very sad. What is going on here? It's the strobilanthes that looks like it also has some flowers of some kind inside of it. What's going on here? That's bizarre. Are those part of the strobilanthe? They are. Huh. That's what this is, right? This is the Persian shield that's just covered in dirt. I don't think I've had one bloom like this before. Look at this. It's covered in blooms. I think these must have been flowers from something else. Well, I bet that was really pretty at some point. But you, the other Persian shield, do you have any flowers on you? No? Nothing? A little wonky. See how quickly they do that? What's that called? The term for that, when the plants, they correct and grow towards, it's like sun, what is it? I will figure it out. It's going to keep bugging me. Oh, this guy. Oh man. That's looking pretty rough, but it'll be okay. Some bitins, a squished euphorbia right here. Tiara pink. They were looking so good. The tiara pink petunias. Try and put those together. An empty pot. What's supposed to be in here? Something out here is running around without any pants on. The euphorbia. Here it is. There we go. Easy enough. Put that one away. The Bluephoria mandavillas right there. The daisy. Pop that back up there for right now. And what are you chewing on? Oh, it's just a stick. You can have it. You're fine. You can have the stick. I get paranoid about that after big storms, windy things. I worry about him grabbing onto something that might not be good for him. Go fight. Here, get your toy. Get your toy. See your toy right there? Look at your toy. See? Toy right there? Toy. There you go. You've got a toy. Good. You don't want to give it to me? Can I have it? There we go. See that wind? So I'm debating whether or not to actually pick these palm trees up right now. I do at the very least, though. I need to get this off of that pile of plants there, that pack of annuals. I don't think they're probably very happy under there, but like I said, whatever damage is done to those, it's done. Whew, that wasn't too bad. Fairly gracefully. Think the container's in one piece. Won't know until I stand it up, which I mentioned I don't really think I should probably do right now. I'd say these are toast, though. It's not looking too hot. I'm gonna give him a chance, give him a cutback and everything, but I'm not all that excited about using them when filming videos trying to make something that looks really nice, that sucks. All my begonias, all my pseudoranthemum. That's gonna have to get cut all the way back. Cut that back to, well, right there on the stems, and then just stick those back in. They'll root in. It's a setback. Ginger, could be worse. Early in the growing season, so everything still has plenty of time to recover. It just is what it is. For the most part, other than the begonias, the purple heart plants, they'll be fine. The canary wing begonias, they'll be fine too. I'm just not really excited about planting them up because I'd like to, it's fun when you plant things up to have them look nice, particularly when you're doing it in videos for people to watch. So I'll probably go get new ones of those begonias and the canary wings, and then We'll revitalize those, but I don't think I'm going to be sticking them to planters right away. Yeah, and these are staying down. That wind is still strong. I don't want to bother picking them up. So the Japanese maple. Just going to give this a scoot. Scoot it over here. So it's a little bit more sheltered. And actually, is there a spot where I could just wedge this up? Because it really just doesn't want to stand up. Maybe I can just scoot it back here. Let's take that back here into the corner some more so it has some more support. Oh, good. That pine tree crap all over me now. I don't like to not be able to get all the way around the pole. Oh, if you're wondering, there's nothing in here. This is empty. I would never just leave this leg on its side. There's an animal in there. Actually, I need to get the wood out because this collapses down flat for storage. So that's the only reason that's it. I'm saying that's the only reason that's even out here. Oscar Pink Dianthus. Well, where are you? I'm pretty sure that this is just an empty pot. Oh, it is. Look at all that. That's just an empty pot. And that's the ones that need to go to the recycling. Yeah, so there it is. Oh no, not too bad. I've had way more damage from storms out here than this before. I don't know if I've ever lost an entire flat of plants though. This is the ones I got from Andy's. It's like a 45-minute drive. They have great prices, but it's like a 45-minute drive. They're all things though that I'm pretty sure I can replace locally. So that's good. Yeah, it's not bad. I'm gonna go through, get all the pine branches and everything cleaned up. They're all over the place, like all over the lawn, and lots of sticks came out of the pines. I'll be watching the forecast. I'm sure that by the time this video comes out, I'll have these 2 palm trees set back up. I'm thinking it might be time to go ahead and put some cable ties and straps onto this and anchor those down to the ground behind it. Maybe, because if it falls backwards, it's fine. I keep a pile of stuff there, no big deal. Falling forward, that's where all the risk is. And I'm shocked that it didn't break. I mean, the front of it could be broken. It's possible, but I doubt it. I doubt it. And if it is, I bet that it's something could get glued back together. It felt pretty solid when I was sliding it around. Oh, Turbo, I'm so sorry. How could I forget? It's gonna be the most important thing for Turbo to come in here and get this Chinese fan palm that I, for some reason, seem to think, well, it's covered in thorns, that I could just do this with one hand. No problem. I don't think I can. Be right back. There you go. He's happy now. Not seeing power to the pond, which is confusing because the light on the extension cord's lit up. So there's power. Is there just not... What's going on with this? Is there a switch on here? Sorry, I just realized my microphone's hitting the chair here. Does this have a GFCI on it? Something? No? I don't think it does. It does have a button. I don't know what it does. Oh, okay. So that was the GFCI. That's good. I have to move this, actually. Probably need to get that done. It should be in the next Saturday video. Because at some point this week, the palm trees are supposed to be here, so all this stuff's got to go. I'm going to get all the palm trees set up in the middle of the patio and decide what to put where. Sorry if my cadence has been off. I know that can be annoying, but I wasn't planning on filming, so doing a lot of just walking and talking and thinking all at the same time. You're such a good boy. Huh. Okay, yeah, so hey, that's it. There's the update. People were asking, wanting to know if I'm okay, and I'm also just responding, be like, yeah, I'm fine. And the garden's fine. Got really lucky here. In fact, the last tornado we had back in March was less destructive here at the house, but much closer to hitting. So this damage was just from the front blowing in. The tornado didn't even hit for a few miles after it passed over here. That's supposed to be adhered up there on the outside. I have to get some new suction cups for that. I don't know where they went. I'm going to post some links and resources down below if anybody's interested in donating or helping. If you're in the area and you have a GoFundMe or something like that, hit me up. Not in the comments because you can't put links in the comments. You'll get flagged as spam, but just my email is thetropicalplantparty@gmail.com. So send things that way and I will link them in the description of the video. And in addition to just being lucky that my house is still standing and none of the big trees are damaged, still have electricity, which I'm shocked by because so many people around me don't have power right now. I'm sorry, my sister's right down the street. They've been without power since the storm happened yesterday. And they're just down the street. So very fortunate there. They'll probably be turning power on and off. So at some point, I'm sure power will go out today. It'll probably go on and off while they're trying to get power up and running to other areas. That's normal. But I have battery powered pumps and stuff for the fish tanks. And it's 73 degrees outside and overcast, so no big deal again for us right in my immediate area. Anyway, so hey, I hope everybody's doing well. I truly mean that. If you're in the St. Louis area, I hope you're okay. Or not just St. Louis. This storm, that whole front was pretty massive through Kentucky and a lot of other areas. They said there were 21 tornadoes in total. 5 of those were here. No, 5 people. No, never mind. Yeah, I think there were maybe 2 in St. Louis. 1 for sure. The other one they're not positive about. But yeah, a lot of people are not doing great right now. The time of year. I love tornado season. Because it's the internet, I have to point out that that was sarcasm because some people don't understand sarcasm. All right, as y'all have seen, I've got some annuals to cut back to basically nothing and then need to blow off the deck and everything. And I'm just saying this, I'm going to get asked. A lot of those plants were there, the begonias, the canary wing begonias and those tuberous type begonias and the tradescan. So all of those plants, yes, you can just cut them, cut their stems into pieces and propagate them. This is a YouTube channel. I can't do that because propagation is prohibited on those specific plants. So you could do it if you wanted to, but I can't do it on video because that would be a dumb thing to do. You get it? So I just have to get new ones, which is, that's fine. Not a big deal. Oh, what I was saying though about how it's a good thing, clearly, that everything's okay here. But those palm trees, if those have been delivered by now, those giant 20 to 30 foot palm trees, I don't know what I'd be doing. They'd just be laying on their sides because it takes a team of people to stand them up when they're that tall and potentially very damaging if they were to land on anything. So as much as I enjoy having those delivered earlier in the season, good thing they weren't here. Anything that was blowing over these hydrangea containers, what's your problem? What are you doing? Get to work. I don't understand. That right there. Why did it not want to focus on that? Huh. Interesting. Oh, you know what? I bet it's this. Is it this? Right there? Welcome to my ADD. Okay. All right, that worked. Anything that's blown over these hydrangea containers would have blown over those palm trees. I'm so sorry you had to suffer through my ADD with that very unimportant statement. Oh, and then just getting ahead of things with editing. We'll probably at some point hit videos and things like that from online up that people took with the storm and whatnot. And it can be really difficult to trace down the original poster of things. So I will try and credit those down in the description of the video from where I was able to find them and trace them back to, but I can't guarantee. It's always best for the original posters to get credit, but I don't know. I don't know. With charitable things, I don't think people care about that, but I'm just saying, just to be safe, maybe we'll post something that somebody ripped off of somebody else. I don't know. I'm going to try not to do that, though. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go. I think I need to get some things planted out here. I can't, things are weird right now. So I feel like I need to water based on what I've seen with a lot of the annuals. I know I need to water those annuals that you saw down there underneath those hydrangea trees. But I can't tell if the ground's cool or if it's moist or both, because the air is also cool. And I'm not used to that when the sun is so hot. The sun's very hot, but the air and the ground, things just feel weird right now. It's going to wait for those palm trees to get here to get planting on these other things. I was just going to focus on the containers for right now, but if I get them planted up, they'll stop blowing over. Problem is I need to come in here with some dead brew because there are all these seedlings coming up. I know that's how it's going to go. That's never how it goes. Just bear with me for a few more minutes. All these seedlings started coming up over here in this area, and I had this area packed full of impatiens last year. So instead of pulling them, I said, well, why don't I just wait a few weeks and see what happens? Maybe they're impatiens. And they're not. And now I have like a 15 by 12-foot area of weeds carpeting everything. So I need to pull the plants out of here and just come in here with some dead brew and get that taken care of before the palm trees get here, and then I can start planting things up. We can start having fun out here. Also, somehow this year, there's a lawn growing in the middle of the garden. Where'd that happen? The weeds, they just take off out of absolutely nowhere. I've been really on top of it this year, mostly with the vining weeds. And it's not mustard, whatever the stuff is. There's the cute little purple flowers on it. Been pulling that stuff up like crazy, hitting it with deadweed brew. But somehow the fact that there's a literal lawn growing in the garden, I didn't notice that. The clover and stuff doesn't bother me. I mean, I'll get it out of there because I know it looks better to not have it there, but I kind of like it. That's my other thing with I want to plant things up, but I really need to handle all these things. I'm prepping for the palm tree delivery. We'll get these planted up, though. I'll go ahead and take care of that because these guys, they're in very small containers, and it is very difficult to keep them hydrated. It'll be much easier to keep them hydrated if they're planted up in these larger pots. And I could be wrong, but I don't anticipate these blowing over again, or this one, that one over there. It didn't blow over. I would be surprised because it's never blown over before. So I think it's safe to plant it up. Heck, the plants are probably more safe being planted up and having it blow over than just loose in there, because they just, they topple. They go all over the place. What are these? Missed these. Oh, pieces of the hydrangea. I don't think the vanilla strawberries are protected. I could be wrong. This is a pretty old variety. I might be able to root these. I'll look into that. No, I won't. What am I talking about? I'm not going to do that. I don't have time. There's so many other things that need to be done out here. No side quests. Let's handle other things first. Trying to just take a moment to walk around and see some nice things. Pharaoh's Dream. Look at that. Not only is it coming up, but it has runners, which is what I was hoping and expecting. Talked about this a lot last year. I don't even need to be talking about it right now. We'll be talking about it more in the garden tour. But to me, it has a lot in common with the Bikini Teeny, which are these darker ones. Back there, they get really tall, have a darker foliage. Cupped leaf, it drops water down. Neighbors' kids are playing with turbo through the fence. But a totally different looking leaf. Same shape, different appeal. You know what I mean? Hopefully, because I'm not going to elaborate any further than that. But I think it'll spread just like the Bikini Teen. So I just have the one right there, and I think it's going to fill in this whole area and look absolutely beautiful. Oh. Did you have a flower on you? No. Okay, well, you do. The Brugmansia. This is supposed to be pink. That looks pretty dang yellow, doesn't it? I don't like yellow. But it'll be a faint yellow, and that'll be okay. Also, sometimes they need to age. Those flowers will age and sometimes pink up. Yes, hello. I know. You had fun with your friends. Anything fun happening over here? Oh. I'm gonna get down here, this mandevilla. I think I'm gonna plant this here. I have a passion vine there, but it's gonna not even come up until like June. They take so long to come back up. Why not just put this there? I think that'll be beautiful. Oh, I finally smell it. This Chatalpa started blooming over a week ago. Shocking, by the way. This was like early May, well, mid-May-ish when this started blooming. I thought this wasn't gonna be blooming until midsummer, and I didn't smell anything. So I've just been going over and giving it a sniff every so often. Wasn't smelling everything, but now the flowers are several days old. I'm back, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 feet from it. And it's like I'm standing in this cloud of good smells. It smells very nice. It's sweet. It's a very sweet scent. Get in there. Stick your snooter right in there. What do you think? Oh, that's very pretty. Imagine if that weren't, all messed up from the storms. I think everything's okay over here. Got a nice fuzzy bud coming up on the baby Grand Magnolia and some new growth. I'm so glad to see that. So glad to see that. Yeah, because it was looking kind of rough when I got this in the ground. It was struggling. We'll just say it was struggling. It was in its container for a season too long. Need to move this. That might be a fun project for today, to work in the shade, get this moved in the back. Not something I need to film. I'm trying to stop saying tuh. It's two, not tuh. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to report on over here. Lots of wild strawberries and violets working their way into my new garden bed. Need to edge this out better. I was going to say better. I did say better. No, not better, just edge it out, period. Need to put some kind of barrier there between my wild lawn, which is just violets and wild strawberries, and this. Because, of course, they're going to grow up in there. I don't know how much a barrier is going to help, though, because they're popping up all over the place in the middle. But I would rather just be able to pull or hand spray with the deadweed brew the ones that are in the middle, as opposed to letting them just grow over and take over this whole space. How are you looking? Oh, do you have a bud? Yes, it's got a bud, the K. Paris. This is just a stick that got planted up over here a few years ago. And something I did want to show everybody before I forget, especially because I don't know if it'll be like this come the May garden tour. The new growth on this one is absolutely beautiful. I don't ever see that. Not with the magnolias that are grown in here. Usually you see the grandifloras and then the Edith Bogue, which is a grandiflora, the common one, and then the Bracken's brown. Rare occasions to see teddy bears are not quite as hardy. Little gems, same thing, not quite as hardy. This is the K. Paris, or is it Paris K? I can never freaking remember. So I left the tag on it. K. Paris. Well, what size was that when I got it? 9 by 9 by 12. Should probably loosen that up. There we go. It's a cross between the Brackens, stay smaller than a normal, just huge southern magnolia, and a little gem, which is another smaller evergreen magnolia. So you get the beauty of both with maybe, hopefully, seemingly more hardiness than the little gem, and the more abundant flowering, too, that you get with that. The Brackens don't flower quite as well. At least not here, they don't. So this is supposed to bloom. I actually think that it did the first year I had this in the ground. It was just a stick, but it kept popping out flowers all summer long. Last year I didn't get too much out of it, but this year, look at all this new growth, and it's so freaking colorful. Isn't that beautiful? I think that is so pretty. I love the fuzzy undersides and the gloss and everything you get. Look at that. That's so pretty. Yeah, nice looking plant. It even has a bud on it. Should keep going. This is, I forgot to hit this with the holly tone. It'll be fine. It doesn't necessarily need it, but it would probably appreciate it. God, I'm getting eaten alive back here. Is the other Catalpa doing anything yet? Any buds on this one? I just want to see if that other one blooming so early is just some kind of random anomaly. Yeah, this one, it's got more new growth on it than the other one does, but no buds. So I don't know. That's really weird. Why is the other one blooming? Look at how big the dogwood's gotten. The one that I planted, this is a memorial tree for my parrot who passed several years ago. This is the Carolina Sweetheart red bud. It's just a tiny little thing. Well, it wasn't tiny. It was probably about this big when I put it in there. Didn't have much going on branch-wise. I can see there's some dead branches to trim out of there. Red buds do really well here. They're native. I mean, this isn't native, right? That's a cultivar, but you know what I mean. They just do well here. You stick them in the ground, they grow up. I mean, I'm constantly pruning out red buds that just pop up from behind the fence. Not these, just the eastern red buds. And sometimes I leave them for too long because they're native and I don't want to tear them down. The color on this is really nice this year. Look at that. It has a gloss. You see it? There's sort of a, maybe you would say, a slightly metallic sheen on that leaf. It's so pretty. This is what I've been waiting for this to get nice and big and to fill in this spot right here. It adds some privacy. Adds some decent privacy, actually. Ooh, I forgot to come through this area. Got all kinds of stuff knocked over here. Privacy from over here. If you're on the patio back behind me, that's starting to fill in that gap because it was a really beautiful big open lawn there. I wasn't crazy about looking into it, and now you can't even, oh, that's so nice. Finally, here we go, 3 years later, got the privacy. Actually, one of the reasons I stuck the El Nino Catalpa right here is, you know, it's a fast grower. They'll come up, get nice and big, fill in this space, assuming it stays true or stays growing from the wood. It doesn't die down to the ground. That stays true. It shouldn't revert to anything. It just is what it is. It's not grafted onto anything, to anything. Ugh. But that was because this just hadn't done a ton of growing yet. But this thing, it just exploded in growth this year. So now that spot's nice and filled in. And I love when that happens. Nice to see the plants grow. Everything looks so great out here, doesn't it? What a nice comparison to the end of last week's video where I power washed this and got it all nice and clean. Here's your update. It's fine. It's what it is. I'm gonna watch the weather, see what we're expecting wind-wise, and it's looking like it's not gonna be too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and get these lifted back up and probably water. Not probably, I'm gonna water. That's what I'm gonna do next. I don't know how many times I've said that. If y'all are on the ADD train with me, hope you've enjoyed the ride. Thanks for hanging out. Like I said, hope everybody's doing well and safe and, you know, doing okay. Things are pretty rough this time of year, I know. Just life. Life is just rough in general right now, right? All right, as always, and most importantly, everybody, keep on growing. Bye.